Good evening. Before we dive in, I would like to ask you guys a couple of questions, just to see if you are on the same page as I am. So please, just raise your hands if your answer is yes. Have you ever heard a song that made you instantly feel happier? Okay. And has a song ever made you cry, even if you didn't understand why? Have you ever connected a certain song to a moment or a person in your life? And has a song ever gave you goosebumps or chills in your body? Okay. For what I can see here, music isn't just something that we listen to, it's something that we feel. And today, I want to explore a little bit more of that. My name is Lara Casagranda, and since I was a little kid, music has always been a part of my life. Which is curious, because no one in my family connects to music the same way as I do. I'm officially the first musician in my family line. I didn't inherit from someone. But it was recently that I found out how deeply that connection really runs. In 2023, I had a bad year. We all have them. I was moving schools from a place that I studied for 5 years. I had some arguments with some friends and lost them, but also made some bonds stronger. I was lost and sad, naturally. I felt like I had lost my ground completely. But in the middle of the chaos, what could always make me feel happy was music. And that made me wonder, why do we have such a connection with music? And turns out science actually has really interesting explanation for that. When you listen to music, your brain doesn't just sit back and relaxes. It actually lights up like an orchestra, each part playing its own function. It all starts in the auditory cortex located in the temporal lobe that is responsible for interpreting the most basic elements of music, such as melody, rhythm, and tone. Then, in the prefrontal cortex located in the frontal lobe, we interpret more deeper meanings of music, such as emotions. And on the motor cortex and cerebellum, our body comes to action. We have reactions such as bopping our heads and tapping our feet. But also, our limbic system is activated. The amygdala relates music to emotions, the hippocampus relates music to memories, and the hypothalamus releases hormones that trigger reactions. But now you might be wondering, okay, what can I actually use that for? Music therapy is a real thing. They use it with military veterans that suffer with post-traumatic stress disorders and also kids that have the autism spectrum disorder because music helps them with speech and connection with other people. But even people that don't have that kind of disorder can use music in their benefit. For example, this is the world population. And no, the world doesn't have 8 people. These guys are separated by billions. And this is the percentage of the world population that suffers with stress to a worrying level. Looking like this, it might not seem like it's that much, but it would actually need 14 times the population of Brazil to get to that number. So yeah, it's a lot of people. And this population usually goes to solutions that are way more dangerous, such as self-medication, to solve their problems, when they neglect a very simple tool that they have literally in the palm of their hands. That is music. But why don't we use it then? Music has evolved through the years, and so has our relationship with it. It all started with the vinyl disc player. Some of all might have never seen one of those in real life, but that was how people listened to music back in the 1950s. At that time, it was almost a ritual. You had to grab the disc, carefully place it on the player, put the needle on it, and then you could finally listen to the album. And you had to listen to the whole thing. No skipping tracks, no fast forwarding. People would often gather with families and friends to just sit and appreciate music, appreciate art. Then came the VHSs and the cassettes in the 1970s that came with two benefits. First, portability. You could literally take music with you wherever you go. And also track skipping, which already took part of the music ritual. But still, if you wanted to listen to the album again, you had to rewind the tape with a pencil, a pen, or something like that. Then, in the 1990s, came the CDs. They were a huge revolution in musical quality. But if you wanted to listen to an album that was recently released, you had to go to the store and buy the CD before you could listen to it. And then, in the year 2000s, came the MP3 players that literally fit thousands and thousands of tracks in your pocket. But if you wanted to listen to the songs, you had to download them and manage your library. Finally, we got to this, a smartphone. I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with it. And now, in just a couple of seconds, we have literally any song from any artist from any part of the world. Notice how listening to music always had a struggle associated with it. You had a price to pay before you could finally listen to the song you wanted to. But now, with just a couple of taps, you can have literally any song. And new music is available in the blink of an eye. You don't have to go to the store, look for the album you want in the shelves, take it in your hands, pay for it, and then you could finally listen to it. In a certain way, that is good, because music is wherever you want to, whenever you want to, instantly. And you can also mix artists, music styles, and song moods in a single playlist. It seems all benefits, right? Not exactly, because music has become background noise. We lose that moment of, okay, I'll sit here, listen to music, and do absolutely nothing else. We lose the focus on the melody, we lose the focus on the rhythm, but most importantly, we lose the focus on our own emotion, on how music makes us feel. Music has the potential to be a medicine for our brains, but instead, we're using it more like a drug. I'll explain. Music is shaped to give us more of an instant response. Early choruses are making songs way shorter. And I mean, is it just me, or a song having less than 3 minutes should be literally a crime? What once was a fine form of art that was appreciated now became an easy dopamine pill. Small, accessible, and mostly shaped for the industry. We lose the complexity for the sake of TikTok dances. We lose the beauty for the sake of Instagram trends. We lose the connection for the sake of individual self-gratification. We lose the humanity of music. And so, music has become as immediate and fragmented as our own society. What I mean to say is, technology has made music as accessible as ever, and that's a huge benefit. But in the process, it lost some of its importance, because when something becomes too easy, we tend to forget its true power. It's proven by science that music can be a medicine for our brains, but we still insist in using it exclusively for entertainment without really paying attention. Think about the last time you really listened to a song, like really paying attention to it. If you're a music fan like me, it was probably recently, and you remember how good it felt. But for most people, it might feel like it was ages ago. because music has become just one more meaningless dopamine pill that no longer tells a story, no longer creates a world we can relate to. So, for those who didn't raise their hands for the questions that I asked in the beginning, the next time you listen to a song that you really like, don't just listen to it, feel it. Feel the sensations blooming in your body because they are there and they are really powerful. We just tend to ignore them. Thank you very much.